plus years, the team's won 2 straight, and what it would mean for those players, you know, guys who put a lot on the line for you to advance, to be one step away from the Super Bowl?
No, not that in depth with it, Carlos. It's more, you know, I'm so much into the mode now, and I want us thinking it's the next one. And we got 3 left, and we got to go get this one right now. And so, you know, I think let's do everything we can to put a good game plan together. These guys where they can digest it, be ready to go, good practice, and let's go get this one. And then, man, then we got to gear up for the next one. So I think it's very much business as usual. You know, I think it's too early to start getting there. I think that's where you got to be careful. You get complacent. I think that's great for everybody to feel good and love where we're at. But for us, we can't. We got to just stay on the tracks here.
When we talked to you Monday, you said prep was focused on the Eagles because you hadn't seen the Bucs already. Makes sense. But when you look at the Bucs, how much does that Week 6 game matter? How much have they changed or developed, whether individually or collectively, since that matchup?
There's a lot of similarities. You know, they're still doing a lot of what they've done. You know, Todd's defense, first of all, I mean, he's been there for a number of years now, and they've got a number of guys on that defense, you know, that have been together. And so it's evolved so much, you know. And so he's got these things that they believe in, that they're pretty good at, the disguises, the pressure. And so you're going to see that no matter what. It's just maybe a different wrinkle to it, but they're really good at all of that, you know. So they have so many things about themselves that he's not going to go away from. Now, a lot of that is the fact that you can't always see everything. It's not easy to see. There is a lot of disguise. There is a lot of movement and you know, but it's like I said before, this is a better team than when we faced them. They're playing better football, and you know, but we're better too. So, you know, and that's the way it should be. Here we go, man. We're in the divisional against an opponent that only improved all year, and so did we.
Their trajectory with the way they were able to kind of rattle off wins at the end of the season somewhat mirrors what you guys were able to do last year. Can you just speak to the confidence that they have right now going into the playoffs and kind of on the run that they had to close the year?
Well, I think everything they've been through is what's made them who they are. No different than us. You know, they were pretty hot early, and then they hit a tough spot in there and had to find a way to get their confidence back, do a few things better, take care of the football, and they've been able to do that. And because of it, then they got back on this. You know, they're another one of these hottest team going, getting into the playoffs. So they're doing things right. They had to find a way to get over the hump and clean a few things up, but they never got panicked. They never went in the tank. And that's very much Todd Bowles too, man. There is, you know, got a lot of respect for Todd. He just the way he goes about his business, and you're not gonna get him frazzled or him worried, or you know, he's all about, this is what we got to do, this is how we do it, and calm down, we'll be just fine. So, and that's why his team's playing the way it's playing. You know, one of the reasons. So, you know, a big challenge here, but they're playing with a lot of confidence.
We talked about the offense being matched up against that defense. Now, how do you envision that looking, man? I know they're a pretty tough defense.
Yeah, look, I know that there's some things that we need to do because we do them well, and we can't go away from that. But at the same token, we got to be smart about how we attack them. You know, it's you know, some of this, the sledgehammer against a steel door can only last for so long. You know, we got to be smart about it. You know, I just bring up Vita Vea, and then, you know, just them creating the edges here with their overhangs. You know, they got length, size, explosiveness. Cansey's explosive up the middle, and then obviously, you know, Levante can run. You know, 45 can run, 52 can run and come downhill. Winfield's hell of a player. So they just, you know, their personnel and the way that they do things, their corners are really good, long, athletic. They just, when you're able to pressure the way they pressure, you're able to keep everything boxed in with your overhangs, and you got size in the middle and speed. It's tough. It's going to be tough. So I think for us, it's, you know, we have to find a way to stay efficient. We certainly can't have TFLs, you know. We know we can't drop back 50 times in this game either. So, you know, and look, our defense is going to need to play well. And they can, and they should.
And when you guys switched out in the offseason, your entire backfield, brought in 2 new guys, kind of controversy at the time, kind of risk-taking at the time. I assume you like the way it's worked out, and this might be the type of game where that 2-headed monster will really come into play.
Yeah, well, yeah, we've loved what Montgomery and Gibbs have done, you know, and they're a vital piece of the production that we've had on offense. You know, they both bring something different to the table, and I would say the vision that we had is this is where it's coming, and it's showing up. So, you know, we're going to need to be able to get those guys involved. But I think this is one of those games you're going to need everybody. You really are, and we're going to need to be able to run it, get it in the hands of those guys. But I mean, St. Brown's got to be big for us. Josh Reynolds has got to be big for us. Laporta's got to be big for us. This is going to take everybody to move the football against this defense. This is a championship defense we're getting ready to face. This is one of the best ones in the league. It wasn't when we faced them the first time, and it still is.
How valuable has Dr. Gavin been for this team, Garvin? And when times are really pressure-packed like this, for guys to maybe stick with strategies that she's working with them on, the whole mental health?
Well, I think it's important just when you start talking about player development, player engagement, that this is one of the resources that is good to have. And look, I think she's been very important. I think that this has been a 3-year, this has taken some time, you know, because the players have to, that trust has to be developed between those two, between Dr. Garvin and whoever the player is, right? It can't come from us. It can't come from, they have to develop their own trust and what they feel like they need help with, can get help with, and she's done a great job of that. And I feel like just as an organization, to be able to give them the resource and step back and say, hey, it's here for you. None of this comes to us. This is not a, and I do think our players every year, they're using it more. And I do think it's helping in areas. And I think it's, you know, in all regard, everything, you know, you're dealing with time management, you're dealing with family issues, you're dealing with anxiety issues, you're dealing with, and I think it's just, it really is a great resource. She's done a great job, and she always pokes her head up there too with the coaches. You know, she'll come around once a week, once every couple of weeks, and you know, she wants to make sure that we're being smart, getting rest, and that you know, that we're resting. We just don't have time to listen to her because we're trying to get work done. So, but anyway, she's been unbelievable.
How did Laporta come through the weekend, and I guess what were your how did what he did on Sunday compare to what your expectations were going on?
I was impressed. He helped us. You know, he was not 100%, but he helped us win that game. He did exactly what we needed him to do for that game, and he's coming along. He's gotten better. He feels better than he did this time last week. That's encouraging. And so I just, you know, I go back to this. I think that's for a young player that doesn't know what this is, and I'm not 100%, to be able to, he knew he could get this done and he could help us, I think goes a long way. You know, that's not an easy thing for a young player. And there again, this is, if we believed that this was going to be some, man, if you do this now, the odds of you, you know, you're going to set yourself back for years or you'll never be the same player. We wouldn't put him out. We wouldn't even talk about it. So it's about the way the player believes in himself and what he can get done. And so he stepped up and helped us.
And that grit thing that you've adopted and you're wearing on your hat, when you made your infamous bite your kneecaps thing when you were introduced, you got a lot of national play and laughs for that. But seriously, it's something you tried to institute here, and I'm wondering if that was a tough sell at first.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, I don't. No, because if it was, I didn't notice it, and I wasn't going to listen to it anyway. It's what we were doing here, and the players that are here are for that reason. The players that have been able to stick, and it's what we're about. It's what we'll always be about, above everything else. If you don't have that, and you don't have intestinal fortitude or mental toughness, resiliency about you, then you're not going to be able to play here. That's the bottom line. So. But no, our guys believe that. The coaches believe it. The whole organization believes it's the bedrock of what we're about.
At quarterback, Baker and Jared certainly have different public personas. But do you see any similarities in how they've guided their teams in kind of this next chapter in their careers to this point?
Well, yeah. Look, they're both leading their team. They're both the field general. They're both the ones that are making good decisions. They both hit a patch there in the middle of the year where there was a couple of turnovers, right? And they settled down and corrected a few things, and now both of them are taking care of the football. I think they're both efficient quarterbacks. And I think they're both playing at a very high level. I think what you're seeing is two guys that there's a reason why they were drafted, where they were drafted, at what point in the draft, and I think you're seeing that. Man, these players are really giving you what they got. So, look, he's with the way he's playing right now, he's an issue, and he gets rid of the ball fast. He's accurate with it, and if you don't push the pocket on him, he can make these throws, and he's got receivers that can make plays on the ball, in the air, and run after catch. So, look, I've always been a Baker fan from afar. I loved him when he was coming out. I tell this story. This to me said a lot about him, and I went and worked Blake Andrews out when he was coming out of OU. They came out the same year, tight end. And so I went out there. Well, his quarterback, it's cold, but he comes out there. I think he's got like flip-flops on. It's Baker. Baker's going to throw for him. Well, Baker threw for every one of his guys that was coming out that year, and I think he'd already had 2 private workouts the 2 days prior, and he had one that afternoon, and I think the one the next day. So that just says a lot about the guy. There's no wonder why people rally around him and follow him, because he's that type of teammate, right? I mean, there's a lot of guys who wouldn't do that. Well, I got to save my arm. I've got so-and-so club coming in. That wasn't him. So, you can respect stuff like that now.
Two to end it. Just first, Khalif Raymond, what's your level of optimism for this week? Is he close?
He's better. He's better. Honestly, this is going to be one of those that comes down to probably Friday or Saturday before we know for sure. He's improved a ton.
And then part 2, or second one, Kirby Joseph, he's caught some flack for a couple of the hits he's made the last couple of weeks. Just wondering what you say to him, if you counsel him about his play style at all, or are you comfortable with the way that he's...
Look, that's how we play football here. Just keep your head up, see what you hit. That'll always be what I tell Kirby. Just keep your eyes up so you don't hit on the crown of your helmet and you hit a spine, you mess yourself up there. Just see what you hit. But no, I mean, he's going for the thigh board and staying away from the head. And, that's how we play defense here. We're not dirty. It's just, we hit.
Dan, can I squeeze in one more question, if you don't mind? Just wanted to ask about your coordinators. I know this week's about you. I don't know if there's a better time to get this in. I was wondering what's your process that you've gone through this multiple years is just preparing for a potential replacement plan if you need to. What do you do?
Well, I fill them all in on what goes on most of the time. I do as much as I can. I try to just give them things that I'm dealing with or have dealt with, or things to think about. Right? When you get this opportunity, or when this comes up, think about this. If I could do this over again, this is what I would do. So I think more than anything, I try to give them a piece of situations that I deal with on a daily basis and that they need to be prepared for, and what I would do different, what I felt like I did right, or think about this. I just pose the question. All right, this is you. What would you do? And I give it to them. So I think that goes a long way. I think that helps, because when you do that, now they're forced into that situation. That's something they've not even thought about. They don't have to think about it. But when you present it to them that way, now all of a sudden you got to make a decision. So I've always tried to do that.